Hello, space friends. Captain Snuggles here, back with some more Space Haven. The game is actually released Alpha 18 now, whereas this run has been played on Alpha 17. I don't mind too much. It looks like Alpha 18 is just sort of a hodgepodge of minor content, nothing especially groundbreaking. But, even so, I would like to go ahead and close this thing out if we can. So let's get into it. So here is the current state of the Snughaven. Now, the keen-eyed among you might notice that there have been a decent many small changes. And as we go out to the galaxy map here, the keen-eyed among you might also notice that we are in a very different position from where we were last time. And so, since the conclusion of my last video, I've recorded, probably at least 10 hours of gameplay, but have ended up disappointed with what I got. Ultimately, since we finished out vanquishing the slavers at the Strange Yoda Spiral, there hasn't really been anything especially new or exciting that has happened. I worked my way around the galactic rim here, worked through a few normal systems, as well as the Pirate Coalition headquarters, which is basically just a carbon copy of the slaver headquarters. A resource-rich system, which didn't have anything especially interesting in it. The Baron system, which sounded super cool, but turns out it's just a normal system with a large supermarket in it. So I did some shopping there, but spared you all the footage of that. And finally have made my way to the Lambda Walkabout Spiral as a cool little alien icon. It's an alien system with a lot of alien activity. I thought maybe there would be something different here, alien mothership, something like that. It turns out it's just a normal system with an unusual abundance of infested derelicts. But, once again, nothing exciting, nothing groundbreaking, just sort of more of the same. The game's difficulty has increased a little bit, but not in a really interesting way that just sort of beefed up the enemy's numbers. And so, long story short, there's not a whole lot in that footage for you all to look at. And so I think that instead of trying to comb through that and scrape together something interesting, I'm just going to take this ship and crew that I have and try to just push through to the end of the game from here. Now, although the game doesn't really tell you this, or at least remind you of it at any point, we are supposed to be looking for a new world that humanity can settle on. I did in fact find that world over here in the City of Zulfikar Belt, but wasn't able, or wasn't ready to pull the trigger and end the game just yet. So, I'm going to try and take the Snughaven back to there, making my way through a couple of unexplored systems on the way, and see if we can find at least a little bit of entertaining content for you all to look at. So I'm going to make my way through the Taro Sharenga Passage here, Omega Jackson Passage, the Super Zulfikar Spiral I definitely want to visit, Seti Walkabout Field, and then finally to this sector, the Seti Zulfikar Belt. Now, the Walkabout Field and Jackson Passage here probably won't have too much going on because they are military-controlled system. They're sort of safe zones. But maybe we'll find something cool to do in the Taro Sharenga Passage or the Super Zulfikar Spiral. I certainly hope that the Super Zulfikar Spiral has something cool in it, because it is a cool name. Now then, in terms of the changes to the ship and crew, you'll notice the crew is bigger than last time. I have 16 people on the team now. No really extraordinary new additions. Got a couple decent fighters and a couple decent support staff, but nothing crazy. In terms of the ship itself, I've expanded the footprint just a little bit to accommodate a few more modules. Defensively, I have my usual ring of point defense turrets around the edge, 7 of them in total, and 5 shield generators, which give us a nice beefy 1080 shields, as well as enough hull stabilizers to give us over 4300 hull HP. So this is a pretty dang beefy space triangle we've put together here. Upgraded the armament as well, replacing my autocannons with a couple more energy turrets. So we now have 4 energy turrets for stripping enemy shields, and 4 rocket turrets for smashing through that hull and the modules. And this is really gonna eat through the ammo. So, we've reached the stage of the game where, winning battles is less about the ship and more about the economy, right? Can I create enough supplies to keep my turrets firing long enough to power my way through to the finish? We'll find out. Let's see, on the interior, I don't think we've made any tremendous changes. I've tried to optimize a little bit. I've also added in grow beds sort of throughout the ship wherever I can fit them, just to make sure that I can keep my crew fed, as well as any refugees that I take on board, because that is still the goal. The slavers, although we defeated their HQ, they're still floating around out there, and so they are still the nemesis. We're still going to try to help people where we can, and so we need that extra food production to accommodate that. Probably the single most important change that we've made is we added an alcohol beverage machine, so a nice beer dispenser for the refugees, with exactly 1 refugee taking advantage of it right now. Ragnek from the civilian faction. Finding old Ragnek a home is going to be priority 1 here. So, as we move through these systems towards the finish line, my first priority is going to be finding a civilian ship where I can drop off Ragnek and get him back to his people. So, with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. So, let's prepare for jump. Figure out where we're going. Need to get back down to the south here, then head east. 2 jumps. That will take us to the Taros Sharanga Passage. Perfect. I'm going to save most of my review of the game for the actual final episode. But as I go through, I'll try to add a little bit of commentary on things that I've noticed, either good or bad, sort of during the time since I left off my last episode. One of the reasons why footage has been... why good footage has been tough to gather is just that although space battles work roughly the same way, they have gotten a lot more complicated and, in some cases, a little bit more buggy, with AI doing sometimes really strange things, and it taking just a very long time to sort of chew through all of the enemy HP and deal with all their ships and shuttles flying around. I haven't found that footage especially compelling, but even so, we will hopefully get a little bit of combat before all is said and done. We have entered the next sector here. Let's take a look at these 4 systems, see what we're working with. Hopefully there's a civilian ship somewhere in here where we can drop off our 1 refugee. Let's go look. I'm going to do a lap of this first system first. Hey, look at that. Civilians. And they're not jumping out. That's perfect. Go ahead and land right next to them. They immediately know that Ragnek is on board, somehow. Sarah's gonna make her way through the bathroom to the ops console, because that was my genius idea for cutting off travel time on the ship, was just to put a corridor through the bathroom. Yes, we do indeed have refugees on board. Alright, well, they're offering me assault rifles. They're not going to actually give them to me because of a little bit of a bug that's going on. And nothing else is especially interesting here. But basically they want to trade me a beer for a refugee. And, a beer after a job well done. That sounds good to me. So yeah, we'll accept. So let's observe Ragnek's departure from Snughaven. Carrying 1 last barrel of water first. What a good guy. Where's he going with it? Where are you taking that water, sir? Aha. O2 generator. Alright. Now get out of here. Your new home awaits. Ragnek, hello. Get out of here, man. There we go. Alright. Ragnek is out. The supplies we traded are in. Perfect. Let's see if there are any good missions. Set a slave free, huh? Sure. I did just say, after all, that we're trying to do good here and vanquish the slavers, so I would be remiss if I didn't follow up on that. And look at that. Oh, we're definitely doing it now. They're offering us 4 booze. Heck yeah. Alright, so somewhere in the Ultra Gaia node, to the southeast, is the SGS torpedo bait. That's our target. Alright. Well then, let's see quickly if these guys have anything useful that they can trade to me to help me out with the upcoming fights. I'm gonna sell off all of my low value weapons, my low quality weapons. Might need these. Probably need these. Sounds good. Maybe I should have taken the ice. Looks like we're a little bit low. Oh well. Just figuring out what I have excess of. Honestly, I have excess of a lot of things. I'm not really hurting for supplies, but I might as well pick some up while I have the opportunity. These energy cells are used to power my energy turrets, so I really want to stock up on those. It's probably the main thing that I need. I'll trade in some artificial meat for them. Why not? Yeah, that looks fine. Alright. Wait for those trades to finish up. Then move out and try to free this slave, whose name I've already forgotten. Starla Ralos. What do you want, civilians? Do you want... I bet they want their steel plates back. Called it. +2 relationship. Sure. Yeah, we'll give you the charitable donation of steel plates that we just bought from you for much less than you just offered. A little bit of profit, a little bit of relationship boost. Why not? Alright, there we go. So that's done. Now, we will hopefully be engaging in combat as soon as we come out of warp here. So, let's prep for jump. Power up ops shields and turrets beforehand so that we're ready to fight as soon as we come out of warp. Fighters are stowed in the bays. We'll stay that way until I allow them. That's good. Fighter AI is a little bit wacky. Certainly useful situationally, but I don't want them just flying around as soon as I land. And when we get there, I will just need to make sure I turn off my industry here, power up my backup power. Let's see if I remember that. All right, going this way. Looking for the SGS torpedo bait. It's a great name. With the slave Starla Ralos, which is also a pretty good name. Alright, so these guys are sitting in a nebula right now. I kind of want to wait until they leave. There we go, they are leaving. I'm just assuming that these slavers are my targets. I think that's probably a safe bet. There are pirates farting around here as well, but they're leaving. This is the Merchant Federation, which is not hostile to the slavers. And what does this mean? A mining station. So there is a merchant mining station in system, which will fight the pirates if they choose to come back, so that's kind of nice, but they'll stay out of my battle with the slavers, which honestly, I'm cool with that. So, that looks like a great place to engage our targets. Alright. Let's get in here, point blank. Alright, what are we fighting? These are 2 cruisers. Ooh, these guys are going to shred my shields. They don't have that many shields of their own, so maybe I can get through them and take out some of these energy turrets beforehand. They're not a major threat to my hull, but they can certainly cause problems. These energy turrets, total of 4 coming against me, are totally capable of taking down my shields and then knocking out my modules, which would be non-ideal. So, let's see. Turn off industry. Turn on the backup power. Let's target the torpedo bait first, because it is our mission target and it's closer. So I want to go ahead and disable it. If one ship gets away, I want it to be the one-eyed wolf here. I want to keep the torpedo bait here in system with me so that I can free this slave. Alright. That's the plan. Let's try and shred these turrets before they take my shields down. Gonna temporarily boost power to my weapons. Just until their shields are down. I don't have time for you right now, Federation. Alright, their shields are down. I'm gonna switch my shields to power boost. They are firing back. They have one empty shuttle and one full shuttle already moving out against me. So let me get a response team together. Get the A team. I should have dismantled this first so that the boarding parties are forced to funnel through here. I'll see if I can pull that off now. Sheena can construct, yep. What is... trying to micromanage a little bit too much here. This is a very micromanagey stage of the game, but at this point I just need to try and let my crew do their thing. Elizabeth and Hayden, Sherry also get in here. Okay, good. That shuttle is going to the appropriate location. My actual defended airlock. Now, while I've been yammering on about that, the torpedo bait shields have come back up. So I need to make sure I don't lose focus. Make sure I don't lose focus on the spaceship battle while the crew battle is underway. Alright, we have disabled this airlock, which will hopefully keep this second boarding party from getting through there. We'll see if they bug out or not. Meanwhile, alright, our shields are doing fine, which is good because they're currently unmanned. See if we can't totally strip down the torpedo bait. Yep, there we go. Perfect. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to try and destroy their hyperdrives as well. And then I'll start working on the one-eyed wolf over there. Hello, fellas. Welcome aboard. So what happened there was my point defense shot down their shuttle. They ejected. We're still able to take their spacesuits to the airlock, but it looks like when that happens, which I think is a little bogus to begin with, but at least it looks like when that happens, they have to come through one at a time. So that's good. Now then. Maybe Azir. No mercy for slavers. Absolutely no mercy allowed for slavers. There we go. Alright. So it should be good now. Now then, start chipping away at the one-eyed wolf. Finish off the last... Oh, no, never mind. The shields of the torpedo bait have come up yet again. So I need to go ahead and strip those down yet again. Knock out the hyperdrive and then start working on the one-eyed wolf before they eventually chip through my shields. Like I said at the start, the Snughaven is a tank now, for sure. It's been holding up to this barrage for quite a while. No major issues. Alright, there we go. Hyperdrive's down, all their turrets are down. So now I can take a look at what's going on internally here, I suppose. Drop some rockets right on Liara's head. Oh no, they got their shields back up in time. Oh. Bummer. Still, they should be venting oxygen. It shouldn't be too long for this world. Very surprised they haven't surrendered yet. I guess I'm really spreading the love between these two ships. But once I strip down the energy turrets of the one-eyed wolf, they should figure out they don't really have much of a chance. I can now deploy my fighters. Start harassing and also intercepting shuttles. They got their shields back up again. Do they have shuttles left? I may have actually shot down all of their shuttles, which would be amazing. I wouldn't really mind if the one-eyed wolf just left, but... I guess we might as well take it out. They're still slaver scum, after all. So I'm going to try and hammer down on their hull stabilizers. Dang it. Again, these guys are really good at getting their shields back up. What I need to be doing is remembering which console is the shield console. Let's see. The only way to tell is by looking on my ship and trying to compare. Alright. Blue boxes there. Alright, let's see. It's probably this one. I wish there were a better way to tell. Yeah, it must be this one. Alright. Yeah, maybe that will dissuade them from manning shields. I'd love to drop a barrage or two of rockets on their hull stabilizers, though. That's a variable I hadn't really thought about. They can purchase more supplies from the merchant station here to let them repair their ships. Yeah, I really did not think about that at all. Still Still, that should be fine. It's delaying the inevitable. It's going to eat up a little bit more of my resources. But ultimately, it shouldn't really change the outcome here. I have my fighters deployed now. They're going to start chipping away at both these ships. Just making life a little bit more miserable for these slavers. I can also do the same thing that they're doing. I'm going to go ahead and buy myself some more rockets. I guess that is all the merchants really have available for me. That's useful. Well, at least get those. No, you cannot surrender, Slavers Guild. Okay, fine. What do you want, Merchant Federation? They want hull blocks. Yeah, sure. We can have that going on in the background. This fight is pretty well in hand at this point. Alright, there we go. Although it doesn't technically count as destroyed, the One-Eyed Wolf no longer has any hull stabilizers and is as good as dead. I think it can keep... The crew can sort of keep operating it to some extent, but, I mean, they're going to be venting oxygen like crazy. They'll poke a few extra holes in it. Just to make sure that they really vent all their oxygen. So this looks like it might be a little bit bugged out, this hyperdrive. I just saw it take a ton of damage, but it's still visually present. Let's look at what's going on there. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Oh, that's alright. We're going to switch focus now back to the torpedo bait. Get their oxygen venting as well. Oh yeah, I can also... With the hull stabilizers gone now, I can directly damage their modules a lot more easily. Dang it. They got their dang shields back up. It's annoying. We may want to destroy the torpedo bait the old-fashioned way and just tear through its hull completely, so that it actually counts as technically destroyed. I like stripping off the hull stabilizers because it makes it easier to damage modules on the ship, but it leads to some strange interactions where even though the ship has 0 HP remaining, it's still technically functioning. Which honestly, I guess is more realistic in a way. But it still behaves oddly. So, we're just going to try to reduce the torpedo bait to 0 HP the old-fashioned way. So that it behaves in a predictable way, because this is where our mission target is. Speaking of which, let's see if we can spot old Starla? Yeah, Starla. According to that mission pop-up, she's already in a spacesuit, which means that their O2 situation is already looking quite dire. There's at least one other slave on the torpedo bait as well. We need to make sure that we save old William there. So we can stop our energy turrets. They don't really do much to the hull HP. Might as well save the ammo. Alright, come on. One more volley should do it. Apparently not. Are we reloading or something? Probably reloading. I wonder how much rocket ammo I have left, even. Oh, we're doing alright, actually. Alright-ish. 24. Alright, there we go. The torpedo bait has been destroyed. If they have shuttles, they'll be deploying them now. It looks like they do not have any shuttles left. Love to see that. that means that their crew and their slaves are forced to stay there. That's perfect. So, I can afford to spend a little bit of time waiting, then. I'm not going to wait for too long, but... I'm not going to wait for too long, because I don't want the slaves to die, but I'll at least let the crew get weakened a little bit. Alright. Now, while we wait, I guess this is a good opportunity to talk about a brief summary of my thoughts on combat in this phase of the game. Essentially, I've said this before, but the balance in the late game here is very odd, with personal weapons firepower really outscaling the defensive power of personal armor. And so, you know, a laser rifle deals way more damage than an armored vest can handle, is essentially what it boils down to. And so, you know, if you stack up the best weapons in the game versus the best armor in the game, the best weapons are going to absolutely shred through it, meaning that it's really hard to protect your crew from incoming enemy fire. And so instead of boarding and sort of fighting a battle of attrition with sort of modern day weapons like we used to in the early game, instead we have to play it a lot more safe, wait for the enemy to get weakened and start passing out from oxygen deprivation before we really board. Otherwise, we're going to get our people one-shot. Which is not my favorite thing. Alright, let's see. Hayden's trying to deploy a fighter again for no explicable reason. I guess he's just full up on food and rest and whatnot. Alright, I'm going to speed it along just a little bit. I'm going to give my boarding party members a little bit of time. Uh-oh. A little bit of time just to fully rest up after that combat shift. I'm going to keep scanning their ship a little bit, just to keep an eye on things. So there are at least 3 slaves on board the torpedo bait, it looks like. So these merchant shipments, oh man, are giving them enough to enough supplies to rebuild with, as well as some food. And it's also going to keep these airlocks fully oxygenated. We don't love that. Might need to blow up some airlocks here, huh? Watch out, Zyphira. Man, Justin is taking his sweet time getting to this weapons console. There we go. Alright, there we go. That's one airlock down. Let's blow up the second one. Yeah, they're able to... Oh, good lord, I just shredded that guy. Bunch of rockets to the face for Aiden. I'm glad that wasn't my, glad that wasn't the slave that I'm trying to save. Sherlock's still there? How is that still functioning? What the heck? It's very low on oxygen, but the merchants can just replenish that. Good lord. I'm gonna use up all my rocket ammo just blowing up this airlock. There we go. Finally. Okay. Well, I know they have at least one guy down. At least one guy up as well. Give it a couple more scans, just to try and get a good read on how they're doing. Yeah, they have several people in good shape. But for how long, I wonder? Alright, their O2 is looking pretty low. It's probably about time for me to suit up and move out. The one-eyed wolf should still have enough oxygen to keep its people alive, so I'm not too worried about it for right now. Let's just get over onto the torpedo bait with our best boarders. Two full squads of them. We will also... Oh, nice. We should be able to board two parties from the same side, just overwhelm with tremendous numbers from a single location. That's what I'm hoping. Probably start to see these guys, yep, react. We have our artillery support. We can call in if they put up really strong defense. Oh god. Hello, Aiden. See, you're back up and moving. Bad choice for you. Alright. Keep scanning ahead. Oscar is moving to intercept. Trying to, anyway. Hello, Starla. You are my mission objective, and you are low on oxygen. There we go. Gave her a little bit of O2. That's great. William is also low on O2, so Talia, go ahead and take care of him, please. Except, alright, so this is... I promise we'll get to the upcoming combat in just a sec. I did want to point out one consistent gripe I've had with the game is the way the pathing works. So, you know, you all saw that I ordered Talia to give William oxygen. They were occupying the same square, you know, at the same time. So, you know, theoretically, she had plenty of time to give him the O2. However, because of the way the pathing works, the game only checks for... The game only seems to check the target's location relative to... relative to your pawn, right? The game only checks the relative locations, every second or so. And so essentially, William was walking this way, Talia was walking towards where William was, and they just totally missed each other, and so now she's going to chase him halfway across the ship, trying to give him oxygen, even though she had plenty of time to do it. Just going to leave me without one of my best fighters. Look at this nonsense. Look at this nonsense. Also, now William is getting oxygen from a destroyed airlock, because that makes sense. Starlight, how are you doing? Just needs a bed. Alright. Well, whatever. See if I care, man. Do we have anybody with an oxygen tank, I wonder? Yes. So let's go ahead and see about dropping one of these down. Getting some O2 for our people. Alright, now then. Let's keep scanning ahead. Alright, these guys just have pistols. Not too worried about that. Okay. Going to be a much longer video than I had bargained for, but that is the nature of the beast with this late game combat. It takes a very, very long time just because of the size of the ships, the amount of HP. You know, you can see there's nothing really groundbreaking going on. If anything, it's less interesting in my opinion than the early game combat. It's just, you know, you have bigger numbers to chew through, pretty much. But, alright, there we go. We have taken over the torpedo bait. Now we can free these slaves, take them all as refugees, and get them to safety, including our mission target, Starla. And let's see, Starla is a civilian, so we can safely hand over all the refugees from the Merchant Federation without jeopardizing the mission. So just a quick smash and grab, freedom, hand them over. Easy peasy. Not getting anything that amazing for it, but it doesn't really matter. Perfect. Okay. Now, meanwhile, there is still the one-eyed wolf to deal with. I might just leave it drifting, or I might rescue some of those slaves off camera. I think for the purposes of documenting the state of the late game, I think this has been totally sufficient. So, I will just mop things up here, work on turning Starla back over to the civilians. Actually, no, I'll get that on video. So I'll just mop things up here and prepare to complete this mission and continue on the way to the end of the game. Alright, so that is the plan, and that will be it for this video. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, this is Captain Snuggles, signing off.